Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Hopkins County Civic Center as we prepare for tonight's Passport, the Chamber of Commerce annual membership banquet this evening here at the Civic Center. It is a filled room with a number of tables completely full of individuals waiting on the awards that will be handed out this evening. Our program will call for the presentation of the colors and the Pledge of Allegiance and the national anthem, then an invocation, and then the recognition of the directors of the Chamber of Commerce, and then immediately moving into the presentations with Caregiver of the Year and so forth. This is going to be a very busy night, a very efficient evening. They're not going to be doing videos this year as they have in the past, and so everything is going to move along quite well as we get started. Leslie Brown, who is the executive of the Chamber of Commerce, now moving to the microphone. And I'm Jim Rogers. We're glad that you have joined us this evening, and we are ready to begin in just a moment. And this is Leslie Brown.
Yes, it is. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome.
Good evening. I'd love to welcome you to the 93rd Annual Chamber of Commerce Banquet. My name is Leslie Brown, and I'm President and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce. I hope you have had the opportunity to eat dinner. Was it delicious? Yes? Okay, great. So Mary Lou and Andy Wright did that for us, Birthright Barbecue. Let's give them a hand and say thanks. So I think you'll enjoy some surprises that we have in store for you tonight, and I'd like to go ahead and begin. Please rise as we welcome the Hopkins County Military Coalition, who will present the colors and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Prepare to advance the colors. Advance the colors. Whoa. Post the colors. Whoa. Present horn. I pledge allegiance to the flag of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Order. Oh. Color guard. Dismiss.
I'm going to go ahead and welcome Rusty Posey to say the blessing.
Would you bow your heads with me, please? Father, we thank you tonight for an incredible evening celebrating our county. What an incredible place Hopkins County is to live, to raise our families, to worship, and to serve. And God, I pray, Lord, that you would bless each and every one that's here tonight, that you would bless them with good health. God, that you would bless them in their businesses and in their careers and in their families. And Father, we thank you for the Chamber of Commerce and all it does for our community. In Jesus' name we pray these things. Amen. Amen.
My hope tonight is that you'll have two opportunities. One, to enjoy a fantastic meal with your friends and your family and your coworkers. And two, to just relax a bit, enjoy the evening. That reminds us how much we enjoy and love this place that we live. Our current chairman of the board is Kim Beck, and she picked our theme for tonight, which is Love Makes the World Go Round. And we had a fun night planning and embracing Valentine's Day, and so some of you have given me a hard time, but I sure am glad that you're here and you chose to spend your Valentine's Day with us. If you are presenting an award this evening, could you come on to the front? And we have some chairs over here to my left, and we'd love for you to have a seat there, and that'll kind of help us speed things along tonight. I'd like to begin the evening by recognizing our outgoing Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. These individuals have volunteered literally countless hours over the past 3 years, and some even more than 3 years. And they have made me smile all along the way. 3 of our outgoing directors could not be here this evening, but I'd like to recognize Lisa Robinson, Kelly Humphrey, and Jessica Colchin for their years of service on the board. And I'm thankful for the work that they did. I think the rest of my outgoing directors are here though, and so we're going to take a whirl at recognizing them. To the one who always drove his Jeep first thing in the morning up to the chamber just to say hey. He stood all day at the golf tournament making bets. He climbed to the top of the state capitol with us just for fun, and who always responded to the nickname Garrett the Great, Mr. Garrett Glass.
Shake your hand. Do I stand up here with? No. I'm not much for speeches. Thank you.
To the one who always drank a Dr. Pepper with me, took me to eat lunch at Muddy Jake's, taught me life lessons that will stay with me forever, and who always assured me that every little thing was going to be all right. I'm going to miss this man as he moved to Oklahoma, Mr. Scott Brown.
I get it, Doug.
To the one who never hesitated to tell me how proud she was of the direction the chamber was headed. She patted my back, she laughed alongside with me, she encouraged all of the other board members, and overall, she made every place that she was a little bit better because she was there. And luckily, I get to keep her as an ambassador, Mrs. Charlotte Baxter. And finally, to the one whose shoes are going to be hard to fill. He's been through it all these past 3 years, but the truth is he's been on the chamber a whole lot longer than that. He has lifted up, he has led the pack, he has made hard decisions, and he has taken on any task that needed him. He prayed without warning on very, very many occasions. The chamber just isn't the same without him here, so the good news is he's staying on as our stew chairman for the 50th anniversary this year, Mr. Bradley Edge. This year has been full of change for the Chamber. I would say to be chairman of the board back in 2018 was a very brave thing to do. I asked a great deal of our chairman. I asked him to see a dream that didn't exist except in our imaginations. I asked him to help me spread the good news of the big things that we were doing. And I asked him to stay on the board to see this move all the way through. He has been a wonderful supporter, and I am thankful he believed in our motto, keep moving forward, all along the way. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to Mr. Butch Burney, our chairman of the board for 2018.
Leslie said I couldn't talk, but I'm going to anyway. Just quickly say it was an honor to be in this capacity for the last 12 months, but that is nothing compared to the next 12 months coming up. In case you don't know, the Chamber is going to be moving into the current DA's office on the south side of the square in the next few months. We've got the Small Business Incubator opening up, the 50th anniversary stew contest coming up in the fall, and a great leadership with Leslie and the new chairman of the board, Kim Beck. The staff at the Chamber is doing a great job. This is the beginning of some wonderful things happening at the Chamber.
I'm going to ask Kim Beck to come up. She is our chairman of the board this year, and she is going to recognize our current directors.
If you would, when I call your name, please stand. Of course, Butch Burney. He is our past chairman. We've got Andy Ensley, Hopkins County Fire Department. Amber Gilbert, Rock Creek Rehab. Kim Beck, City National Bank. Kate Davis, Caldwell Banker, Watson Company. Larry Willis, Encore. Mike Horn, Latsons.com. Danielle Berry, Down to Earth Services. Lonnie Fox, Northeast Texas Farmers Co-op. Rusty Posey, Hope Family Fellowship. Logan Vaughn, couldn't be here tonight, but Sulphur Springs Country Club. April Ashmore, Alliance Bank. Don McCann, Clayton Homes. Casey Knotts, Tully Insurance. Cody Cox, Texas Farm Credit. Lindsay Palmer, Lindsay's Catering. Rochelle Johnson, Individual. Rusty Harden, Sulphur Springs Independent School District. Thank you all.
Okay, we're going to begin our awards with Caregiver of the Year. I'm going to welcome Charlotte Baxter to do our first one.
The criteria of the Caregiver Award is the nominee should perform voluntary caregiver service for an individual for which they receive no compensation. The nominee providing care to an individual with brain-related disorders or disease will be given special consideration for the award. Example would be Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, Huntington's disease. The nominee should either live in Hopkins County or provide care for a Hopkins County resident. The nominee cannot be a member of the Pilot Club or Hopkins County Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors in the year of nomination. We had a tie this year, so we're going to recognize two very deserving individuals. Our first recipient is a very hard worker and has been a caregiver all of her life. Her siblings even call her Nanny to this day. Sometime around 2011, 2012, she noticed that her husband was forgetting little things, misplacing his keys, forgetting words, having computer problems that we all do. She took him to a doctor regarding his memory lapses, and in his early 60s, he was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's disease. It's my understanding that it's very difficult to get into a study which is with an experimental drug trial. Since several attempts failed, the modern medicine seemed slow to ease the symptoms. She started seeking alternative medicine. The only thing that seemed to help was hemp oil. He was finally admitted into an Alzheimer's drug trial in Houston in 2015, so they drove back and forth to Houston every 2 weeks for numerous months. He wanted to discontinue the trips because it was so difficult for her to drive because they were going so often, but she would not hear of it. In 2016, all trial participants were given an early release of the actual drug, which at first brought such hope and joy, but then devastation. He started having side effects from the trial drug. The trial was canceled in 2017, and all their hopes were dashed. He started suffering fainting spells that eventually put him in the hospital, and the doctors discovered that his blood pressure would drop very low, and that's why he would faint. She attempted a modified diet that caused him more stress than ever. Finally, she had to take him off the hemp oil that had once helped him so much because it was lowering his blood pressure so much. But he was still able to participate in Terrific Tuesdays at the First United Methodist Church, which he enjoyed very much. Alzheimer's is devastating, not just for the victim, but also for the caregivers. Too often, the caregivers receive too little assistance, are underappreciated, and some are even criticized by family members who are removed from the situation. Sometimes the patient also forgets the caregiver. Throughout this entire journey, our caregiver has tried so many different avenues and approaches to slow this horrid, incurable disease. She has lived an incredible life of giving to others and continues to give her husband the best possible care that she can. Our first caregiver of the year tonight is Gladys Irene Howell. Would you please come forward? Congratulations. Can you look over here and have your picture? Thank you.
Our second caregiver is the nomination letter for this caregiver states the following. He is thoughtful, kind, loving, patient, faithful, and gentle. He's a wonderful Christian man. He has selfishly taken care of his wife for many years. He tends to her every need. He takes her places that they have always liked to go together so she can see some familiar faces and attend some familiar activities. Taking care of his wife is a full-time job, but he does it with a heart of love. For many years, he has taken care of the people in our community. He has mentored students at Lamar Elementary, mentored the young men at First United Methodist Church, and athletes and coaches at Sulphur Springs High School. He has ministered to the shut-in senior citizens when he can find the time and someone to take care of Fran in his absence. Everything Bernie does for others is really a reflection of Christ in his life. He is an amazing man and deserves to be Caregiver of the Year, Mr. Bernie Beers.
You are the best.
Please welcome Ms. Billy Ruth Stambridge to present the Growth and Renewal Award.
Since all of you know downtown, when we started the Downtown Business Alliance, it was very hard to think of growth and renewal. It was more like survival. But I hope with all of our efforts, we were at least a spark in what helped create everything that has happened to this downtown in the last 10 years. As you're probably aware, any number of people now come in from out of town to see how this could be accomplished within the very short time of 10 years. It's pretty miraculous. But anything this big takes a lot of people, monies, organizations, and the person we're nominating tonight, you'll all know she's been a part of probably everything that's happened in this town and the county. The Downtown Business Alliance chose a very vital woman for our Growth and Renewal Award. Beyond her continuous service to the Downtown Business Alliance, her talents and energy have been given freely to every group in Sulphur Springs that she has helped organize or been a part of. She works countless hours on the Dairy Festival Board, chamber activities, served as co-chair of the Hopkins County Health Care Foundation and Gala Silent Auction Committee, in addition to her many cold hours greeting and hugging children during our Christmas activities as Mrs. Claus. She is also the Hospital Foundation, on the Hospital Foundation Board and the Civic Center Board. She demonstrates her love for Sulphur Springs and Hopkins County on a daily basis. Someone known to all, Linda Hager.
So this is the time of the night where I get to award our Ambassador of the Year for 2018. And I will say that this Ambassador of the Year, she came into the chamber world quietly and sweetly. She decided she was interested in being a part of the chamber, and so she began doing events here and there. And then she jumped in with both feet. She is willing to help in any way that she can. She goes above and beyond to help us get ahead. She smiles constantly, and she offers support without fail. She has become an integral part of our lives at the Chamber, and we are so very fortunate to have her. It is my great pleasure to announce that our Ambassador of the Year for 2018 is Ms. Casey Knott. Yeah.
Way to go, girl.
Every time that we talk to Casey, Kim Beck sings, "Casey Knox is on the board."
That's true.
Okay, so now we are going to welcome Judge Robert Newsom to present the 2018 Community Pride Award.
The Community Pride Award is given yearly to an individual or organization that has exhibited generosity and service to our Hopkins County community. This year's recipient impacts almost every single man, woman, boy, or girl in our county, young and old, rich and poor. Everyone is touched in some way on a regular basis because of the work done in and through this organization's excellent leadership. This year's recipient was founded in Hopkins County on October 3rd, 1955 by a few leading citizens. The goal of this organization was to improve lives by mobilizing the carrying power of our community to advance the common good. Our recipient is now in its 64th year of existence and more vibrant and strong than ever before. Through the years of existence of this good organization, millions and millions of dollars have been made available to those in need throughout our county. This year, the goal of this outstanding organization is $165,000 to be distributed to those who need help through 20 organizations providing food, shelter, medical, counseling, and many other services for those in our county. Adam Tier, Mike Jumper, Susan Vernon, and Charlotte Henderson, please come up to the front because this year's Community Pride Award goes to the Hopkins County United Way.
Not everybody at once.
There they go. Congratulations. Adam, congratulations. Let's make room for the girls over here. Here they go. Yeah. Take your time. Congratulations. Thank you. Hey, congratulations. Thank you, Judge. And here you go. I'll give it to you. Charles. And let's get a picture real quick. Here we go. All right.
Please welcome Mr. Rusty Harden, one of our Board of Directors, to present the Educator of the Year Award.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to give out this year's Educator of the Year Award. Main reason to me because I've worked alongside this individual in an education capacity. This educator's been teaching for 30 years in Sulphur Springs ISD. The classes they've taught include small engine repair, auto trades, and construction. He's also helped sponsor Vocational Industrial Clubs of America. He's also driven a bus the last 4 years. So everybody knows that's not an easy chore at all. He was instrumental in starting the construction program for the high school. You may have noticed the house on 4th Street. Those are his kids that are working on that house. He loads them on the bus every day, drives them over to the construction site, instructs them, supervises them, closes up the work site, and makes sure they get back to school. And I think that's a chore too, taking kids off campus and making sure you have all of them back. Those of you in education, you know that's a big chore. And he does all of this with a positive attitude. His students this year even entered the outhouse race, and they won first place. Here's some quotes from some of his nominees. They said he not only taught his students a trade, he taught them morals and values to make them better men and women. He dedicated his career to make Hopkins County a better place, one student at a time. Another person said, I cannot speak highly enough of this instructor who puts his heart into his kids. He not only teaches the skills of the trade, but teaches them they are cared about and provides them with life lessons that cannot be measured on a test. And y'all know how we like to measure things on a test. One of his former students said he was a role model and an inspiration. He really taught me a lot, not just about his class, but about life. And I think he was surprised being here because he thought he was here for someone else. But the Outstanding Educator of the Year, Mr. Harold Smithson. Surprise, surprise. Congratulations. Thank you.
Please welcome Mr. Mark Sester to present the Agriculturalist of the Year Award on behalf of professional ag workers of Hopkins County.
Good evening. Hope you enjoyed your meal tonight, and if you did, please remember to thank a farmer for that. It is my honor, being last year's recipient of the Agriculturalist of the Year Award, presented to you by the professional ag workers of Hopkins County, recognizing the outstanding Hopkins County ag farmer and rancher. Hopkins County is home to over 2,000 farms and ranches that make up a portion of the 2% of the population that feeds our nation. Those products produced here in the county are cotton, corn, sorghum, soybeans, milk, poultry, and like tonight's recipient, beef cows. I met tonight's recipient way back in 1986. We were both on the Junior Advisory Board for Silver Springs Loan and Building Association. He began his career in agriculture when he was only 16 years old, working for his neighbor and good friend. And like many of us in the agriculture business, when he was 18, he decided he needed to go and make more money. He wanted to go into another business, but he decided after one day he needed to return back to agriculture. Tonight's recipient of the year, Keith Edwards, along with his wife, Angie, a principal at Silver Springs ISD, and their son, Payson, a senior at Silver Springs High School. They own and operate a cow-calf starter operation, and he is a member of the Texas and Southwest Cattle Raisers and Texas Cattle Feed Association. His involvement includes being on the very first board of directors of Net Bio, and he currently serves as one of the Hopkins County FSA committee. Outside of agriculture, Keith has coached several baseball teams, including his son's traveling team for many years. He and his family are active members of the Gafford Chapel United Methodist Church. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2019 Agriculturalist of the Year, Keith Edwards.
Please welcome Sheila Boyd to present the Woman of the Year on behalf of Beta Sigma Phi.
Good evening. Good evening. I have the pleasure to present the Beta Sigma Phi Woman of the Year. What does it take to be honored as Woman of the Year? A few descriptive words come to mind. Selflessness, involved, willingness, compassionate, eagerness, participation, fun-hearted, and fruits of the Spirit. In 3 words, love of others. 2 Corinthians 9:12 puts it like this: "For this service you perform not only meets the needs of God's people, but also produces an outpouring of gratitude to our God." This year's recipient lives these words and many more. She has been a member of the Pilot Club for many years, where she has held each office at least once. She serves on the board of the United Way. Also, she has been involved in the Relay for Life, Main Street Theater, Shining Star Productions, Shadow Ranch Writing Center, Our Place, and her church, Trinity Harvest Church of God. She has taught Sunday school for over 15 years, and she's part of the praise team. Also, something dear to her heart is Hoops Dreams, a basketball league she has been helpful in instigating for autistic and special needs kids ages 5 to 19. One nomination letter noted that they had asked her why she did all these things. Her reply: "It's the love of my heart to see a child smile and laugh, and to see a community come together for one purpose." Sounds like something our nation could learn from. Her day job is at Alliance Bank, where her co-workers and her customers love her dearly. So without further hesitation, it is with pleasure that I present this year's Beta Sigma Phi Woman of the Year to Miss Beverly Owens.
My cheeks kind of hurt because I've been smiling a lot. Please welcome Mr. Paul Harvey, CEO of Christus Mother Frances Hospital, Sulphur Springs, to present the Small Business of the Year Award.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be up here tonight to do this award, but before we get started, as I was reviewing the number of categories, Linda Hager, I think you could fit every single one of these, honestly. The reason I said that is because when I first moved here and we started working at the hospital, I had the pleasure of joining the Chamber's leadership class that year, and it was all because of Linda. And you know, she doesn't just ask you, she pulls you in every which way. And it was the best 12 months of my life to get to learn more about this lovely county and town. So Linda, I just wanted to personally thank you for that. And Rusty, I thought I was going to outdo you and not put on my readers, but I'm going to have to put them on. So, our Small Business of the Year has had a long-standing relationship with this community for over 35 years. And this past year, our recipient has hosted many community-involved events. They organized the 3rd annual 9/11 Connection on the Square to educate the public on all aspects of public safety and how every agency works together to meet the community needs. They orchestrated a hamburger cook-off benefiting a local charity during the 9/11 Connection. They educated 113 people on Stop the Bleed program, which was designed to help control bleeding and for a mass casualty event. During 2018, Hopkins County Small Business of the Year raised over $4,000 in employee donations for the local United Way campaign. They also held a pancake breakfast fundraiser for childhood cancer awareness. They organized a Christmas tree decorating contest in Blanket Drive, where they were able to provide over 150 blankets to the Safety Crisis Center in Sulphur Springs. They also adopted 3 angels from the Salvation Army Christmas tree. Providing education to our local schools is very important to our recipient. They conducted a Shattered Dreams event at Cumbie High School to bring awareness to high school students about the dangers of drinking and driving. They participated in several career days where they educated students about health care and the emergency system. They also provided standby ambulance service to over 60 school sporting events and the Special Olympics at no cost to the school districts. Before I recognize this group, I'd like to share a personal story about them. This past Tuesday morning at 5 o'clock, we had a car pull up in our ambulance bay at the hospital. Not an ambulance, but a car. And there was a family in there, and one of their family members was having a major heart attack. So at 5 a.m., Laura Ballard, one of the captains of this amazing group, came over and helped my ER team with this individual, and were able to successfully have a positive outcome. This is the type of thing that I think we are true benefactors of having such a business help us in this community, not only for Hopkins County, but for Delta and Franklin County. So I am real proud to recognize our Small Business of the Year, not only for the clinical services and medical services they provide 24 hours a day, but also their willingness to give back to the community and to ensure Hopkins County is the best county in the state of Texas. I would put them up against any EMS in the state of Texas. Congratulations to Hopkins County EMS.
Now let's welcome Mr. Mike Horn, Treasurer of the Board, to present the Large Business of the Year Award.
Go Mike! Texas.com.
All right. Hey, if y'all don't know Kim Beck, you need to get to know her.
Over here.
She's the party.
Over here.
So a couple things. We've been pretty serious tonight, so I'm going to try to lighten it up a little bit before we really get into this. And I think we're going pretty well, so I have some time to kind of mess around, right? No. Oh, all right. Gary Spraggins didn't present anything, so we're doing good. Somebody had to say it. I'm just saying. right, so first off, how many people are following along in their program?
Yeah. Everyone.
If anybody notices, we're on Large Business of the Year, and my name's not there. So the reason my name isn't there to present is because Leslie asked me to do this yesterday. So I'm going to kind of get through the speech, but if I have a few little bumps here and there, y'all just go along with me, okay? All right, so let's get started here. I'm going to present the Large Business of the Year. Last year's winner was Lowe's, and David couldn't be here, so I'd like to start by telling you a story about a big dream. Okay? This dream started in our last recession. The biggest franchises, factories, finance companies, they were in big trouble. Had a lot of trouble. A lot of, auto industry things were going down. It was just a bad time to start a business. Well, after months of planning and pleading and presentations, this business decided, we're coming to Silver Springs. We're going to do this. We're going to open on I-30. We got architects, engineers, consultants. Everybody was paid. They were ready to start moving dirt and building this building. Well, then tragedy struck the family business. Another 5-year battle began. Funding, capitalization, inventory, a new location, all had to be acquired. The factory suggested that instead of locating on the interstate like they originally planned, that they look closer to Walmart, Lowe's, off of South Broadway, where a lot of the growth in Sulphur Springs has been. So they started looking, and you couldn't find a piece of property big enough on South Broadway, so they had to look elsewhere. Slowed even more by record rainfall, construction problems, and design problems, this business finally opened its doors using portable offices the last week of December 2015. Through all these adversities, the slogan adopted by managers and employees was "Believe." After a while, this business helped by supporting almost every nonprofit in Hopkins County. The Chamber, local school district, law enforcement, junior livestock show, youth soccer, baseball. They even donated $10,000 to Hurricane Harvey relief. Last year, they were major sponsors of the United Way, Hopkins County Healthcare Foundation, Relay for Life, Shadow Ranch, Renaissance Festival, the Dairy Festival, the Fall Festival, the Hopkins County Stew Contest, Cattleman's Classic, Ribeye Roundup, and I'm sure there was many more. The Mark of Excellence program recognizes the best in this industry for accomplishments in sales, training achievements, service, customer satisfaction, and parts loyalty. When this business first opened, they were told, there's no way you're going to get this your first year. It's impossible. You just can't do it. Well, guess what? They did it. Not only their first year, but they did it their second year. So they did it 2 years in a row, which is almost impossible. Out of hundreds of businesses like this in the Dallas area, only a handful get these awards. So it is my pleasure to announce the Large Business Recipient of this year is J. Hodge Chevrolet.
Thank you.
So, I feel like we're going kind of fast, which is really good, right?
Yes.
I would like to give away a few door prizes. Would y'all like that? Okay. Rochelle, will you bring up the mailbox? I didn't know.
And the winner is?
You should say drum rolls.
So, we have a mailbox because you get love letters in the mail. See, cute. Valentine's Day. Yes. Okay, so I asked everyone to write down your favorite place that you've ever been and then your name. And so our first present is to Sulphur Springs Country Club, and this is dinner for two at the Chop House, and it goes to Daryl Horton. Okay, so what's our next one? Okay, so this is to Plain and Fancy. This is a dessert there, and this person, their favorite place that they've ever been was Red River, New Mexico. Debbie Stribling. Okay, so this is $25 to Coffee Off the Square. And this favorite place was France. I've never been there. Gail Martin. So this is $25 to Slaughter's Barbecue Oasis, to Kent Mitchell. Okay, so I have a round of golf for 4 plus lunch at Sulphur Springs Country Club, and it goes to Mac Smithson. This is funny because you wrote on the wrong side of the heart, but I guess you had to. And so dessert goes to Mike and Amy Jumper. So this is from Corner Grub House, and it's $25. And I did want to say that tonight the beer is provided by Corner Grub House, and we have Finesse Farms wine here with Phil and Vanessa. We're so glad to have them. Hey, good. I'm glad you're here. And so $25 to Corner Grub House. Favorite place is Florida, and it goes to Sean Trapp. So I'm going to go ahead and call up Mr. Tim Kelty to present our 2018 Citizen of the Year Award.
Good evening. I want to thank again the Chamber of Commerce for the award that we won last year. And, you know, there's a lot of things that happen, it seems like, when you're fortunate enough to win Citizen of the Year. On Friday morning, right after our meeting we had that Thursday night, I got a call. And this young man said, well, I just wanted to call and let you know, I heard you won an award last night. And I said, yes, I did. And he said, well, I just want to call and congratulate you. This happened to be a fellow by the name of Fred Lewis. Now, I'm not for sure what time it was. I think it was about 8 or 9. because normally all good Baptists who have birthdays get calls anywhere from 6 to 8 every morning when they have a birthday. But anyway, and he said, I want to congratulate you on being named Senior Citizen of the Year. I said, Fred, I hate to tell you this, son, but that's not what the plaque says. It says Citizen of the Year. Well, it seems as though that every time that I end up at the church house, whether it's for Sunday school or Sunday morning or some other time, and I happen to run into Fred Lewis, he says, there's our Senior Citizen of the Year. So sometimes there are some things that kind of go along with the award, but I got a chance, though, to pay him back. About a couple of months ago, I was driving down the road, and sure enough, I was driving by the church, and Fred was standing outside the church with a young man I did not know, and his hands were moving and talking and all of that. So I rode up to the side of the church, to the side of the bed, and he was standing on the side, and I rolled the window down, and I said, Fred, if you want to preach, go inside. There's a pulpit right in there. You can go ahead and get it in there. And so as I said, there's some things that kind of go along with these awards. Tonight, I'd like to take this moment to educate you about the many sides of our Citizen of the Year this year. The first side I've described to you is his service side. He's known with a heart of service. He served on the Planning and Zoning Board for the City of Silver Springs. He's been a member of the Rotary Club. He served on the Board of Directors there. He served on the Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors for 3 years. And he's currently serving on the Economic Development Corporation Board of Directors. He's been a participant and held a leadership role in the Walk to Emmaus community. He was a member of the Chamber Adult Leadership class, served as president of his class, and still helps with team building sessions each year. He served many years as the MC of the Hopkins County Dairy Festival, High King Club, and the All Sports Banquet. If you've ever been present to one of these events, it probably wouldn't take you very long to figure out he has a lot of quick wit, and it's seldom for a loss of words. For the last 10 football seasons, he's helped with and attended the Coffee with the Coaches on Friday morning. In his own words, Coffee with the Coaches is open to all men in our community to join with the players and the coaches to grow together as godly men. Yes, he's witty, busy, and smart, but his faith is even bigger. Now let's talk about his business side. He earned his bachelor's degree from Austin College. Then he graduated with honors from Southwestern Graduate School of Banking and SMU. He joined Guarantee Bank and Trust Team in 1998 in Paris, Texas, and is now an area president. Maybe instead of his business side, which you might say that might be his smart side. Finally, let's talk about his family side. He loves them big. He's the dad to Matthew and Mark, and a bonus dad to Jesse and Hannah, and the husband of Ann. If you've ever talked to him about his family, you would see a smile like no other. Yes, he has many sides, but one side you will hear about is the fact that he is a most genuine friend. You can always count on for advice, whether it's in business or it's in personal. He's always willing to share a good laugh or to celebrate on occasions. His door is always open, and a few times he has listened and not known what advice to give, but he would probably say, "It will be all right." And somehow, after that he said that, you just knew it was going to be true. I hope many of you have had the opportunity to get to know him, the many sides of our Citizen of the Year, and the many sides that make him a fine young man. A man more than worthy, yet humble enough, to say that he doesn't deserve to be named Citizen of the Year. He is the original heads or tails man. And I can truly tell you that whatever he tells you, you can always take it to the bank. Our Citizen of the Year, Craig Roberts.
I get to give the speech, so I am Gary Spraggins tonight. Oh, hey, my daughter. Hi, Hannah. I don't know what to say. I joke with Linda Hager for 20 years now, and Linda, the awards you get, all of them, I try to follow in the footsteps. And what do you say tonight to this? I don't deserve it. My amazing wife, Ann, supports me in everything I do. My company brought me here, Guaranty Bank and Trust. I've been here forever. When I walked in, I kind of wondered why some of them were here, and I still have a job, I hope. So I always go back, and it's kind of funny, and he's not here tonight, and I never get to see him anymore, but I'll end with this. David Brewer. How many clap if you know David Brewer? Anytime he did an ad in banking, anytime he did anything for church, he ended it with the same saying, Hopkins County is a great place to live. And it is. Thank you.
Okay, where's my mailbox? Let's do 2 more door prizes. We have 2 left. Save the best ones for last because they have line in them.
Doesn't matter which one first.
No, it doesn't matter. So I don't even know where this is, but give it a guess. So I think it's Trollia, and it is Brad Beers. Where is Brad? Did I say that
It's Tyrolia.
Tyrolia. You're gonna take me there. I have no idea. So then our last one, given by Finesse Farms Wine, his favorite place is Africa, and it is Mr. Tim Kelty. I'm going to welcome up Miss Danielle Berry. She is going to do some special thanks for us.
How is everybody this evening? I hope good. I want to thank all of you for being here for this evening, this special Valentine's Day edition of the Chamber Banquet. We know that you could have chosen to spend your time in other ways, but we sure are thankful for you have chosen to be here with us celebrating everybody in Hopkins County. We would like to offer a special thank you to the following people for making tonight happen. A special thanks to Birthright Barbecue and Catering, Finesse Farms Winery, Corner Grub House, Echo Publishing, Eternity Creations, Hopkins County Sheriff's Department, Sulphur Springs Chrysler Dodge Jeep, Town Square Antique Mall, High School Leadership Class, Hopkins County Military Coalition, and Mike Dodd. The door prizes: Finesse Farms Winery, Slaughter's Barbecue Oasis, Plain and Fancy Sandwich Shop, Sulphur Springs Country Club, and Corner Grub House. Thank you all again for coming out.
was going to take this opportunity with almost 500 people here to kind of give just a few minutes of the state of the chamber. I will tell you that the year 2018 was a lot of change. And so 2019 is going to be even more than we ever expected. And so I was going to tell you that a couple of years ago, I wrote an article for Down Home East Texas magazine. And I read it just the other day, and I know that it was just a couple of years old, and yet it kind of shows you where our head was as we headed the direction that we were going. So I wanted to read just a little bit of it. Do you remember those days, maybe long ago, when you were able to dream with no boundaries, no limits, no restrictions? I'm not talking about dreaming of a new car or a new lawnmower. I'm talking about the big ones. I'm talking about those dreams that stir butterflies in your stomach and cause your breath to catch in your throat. The dreams that thieve your productivity at work and the ones that make your loved ones peer at you with one arched eyebrow when you describe them. The dreams that, when allowed to slip into the mind, cause the lips to pull back in a sweet, wistful smile. Cue the deep breath. Cue the warm fuzzies in your belly. Cue that bubbling of hope that overflows out of you. Those are your dreams. The places you want to go, the things you want to do, the goals you want to reach. And I'd like you to know that we are standing on the cusp of big dreams. Big, juicy, exciting Chamber of Commerce dreams. Let's abandon our adult-like, restricted, concerned manner of thinking. Dream it up. Make a difference in this place that we call home. That script was written more than a year ago, and yet today I am so happy to announce that the Chamber is making our big dreams come true. We are going to set into motion the plans that we whispered to each other when we thought they were too big to be reality. We have sold our precious little building on Conley Street, and we are preparing to move to our new home at 110 Main Street. You all know it as the Hopkins County Annex Building on the south side of the square. In a few short months, we will be moved in, and we will be starting an incubator program here in Hopkins County. We want to offer a safe place for new businesses to grow and begin. We want to offer the hope that so many have already offered to us. We want you to know how thankful we are for all of you, because without you, these incubator dreams could not be real. Thank you, Chamber members, for believing in us. We hope that we can be as inspiring to you as you have been to us. Thank you all for being here this evening. Please feel free to hang out, visit, chit-chat with your friends. Have a wonderful Valentine's Day, and we will see you this time next year.
You've been listening to the Hopkins County Chamber of Commerce Banquet here at the Regional Civic Center. Thank you for joining us this evening on KSST. Back to you.